give a quick little thumbs up or a love. Today I'm going to be talking about resilience and about how to be able to bounce back. There are so many people who have been, Robert, hey, thanks for saying something. Thank you so much for joining. Last week it was just amazing. I loved how you were commenting and all of that. It just gives it a little bit of a better, feel and all of that. So, as I was saying, today I'm going to be focusing on resiliency. I'm going to be talking about mental health, and especially at this time, during this pandemic, during these crises, there are so many people who are hurting and who do not know where to turn. Just I'm going to give a shout out to Robert. Robert is the one who does. Fun in the workplace. And last week, I was on the Facebook Live video. And at one point, my younger son decided that he wanted to join the conversation. So what he did was he came down. I had a treat for him, and that was a chocolate croissant. And the thing is, he does not like to share. And what he did was like, Papa, Papa. I'm like, no, I don't need it. And then he decided to bring his bubble thing so he could blow bubbles. And at one point, I had actually written on a piece of Post-it that go up. And he put an X with the pen, meaning no. That's what he usually does when I say things to him, when I want him to do something. And then he wrote down no, and I found this out later on. So what it taught me is that, with COVID, we never knew that this was going to be happening. 3 weeks ago, could you say what was happening? 3 weeks ago, could you tell that you were getting laid off? 3 weeks ago, could you tell your business was being impacted? Now, I've got this saying that this is for job seekers, but it's not only for job seekers. It is for everyone. They can use these mental health tips. I'm going to be focusing some of it on the on job search as well. And I'm just going to write down one thing here so I don't forget. Awesome. And if you have any questions, oh yes, thanks so much for sharing your website, Robert. Check this out. This is great that there's so much that's available right now. There is I'm getting messages on my phone about people wanting to join. Please just join. Yes, I am. I tried to. All right. There we go. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Maureen. I look forward to you joining later on. Now, when I start with this, exactly 3 weeks ago, we couldn't foresee. Now, when I started this, I was thinking, how am I going to be able to share things and how am I going to get through all of this? So the first thing I would like to talk about is the feels. And what do I mean by feels is the feelings. We're told that we shouldn't be talking about our feelings, and we shouldn't be talking about emotions, especially people who are from different cultures. I know growing up, I grew up in a toxic male toxicity. I was told, pull your pants up, you're a boy, stop crying. Okay, I'm going to put this out. Whoever is online, can you please write down if yes, you cry? And we are not going to be shaming over here. This is a space for us to feel open. It's for us a space to feel that we have support. So I'm going to put down over here. Let me just jot this down. Okay. Chat. That's just, okay. Sorry, folks, I'm just not quite sure of how to put that down. And anyways, I was going to say over here that yes, I cry. So I'll jot it down as a reply. Yes, I cry. Men, please don't swallow your tears. And I'm a fine one to be saying that, and I'm trying to learn is as vulnerable as I am. So, Patricia Morgan, thank you so much for that. And so it is. I'm even sharing who's the one who told me this to make sure that I am not swallowing my tears. Morgan, I can't find her on the tag. So let's just leave it at that. And where I'm going with this is that, you know, your feelings are important. And if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling anxiety and all of those, let that sit with you and find out where is it sitting in you. Is it sitting in your, so for example, when these thoughts or those thoughts come into my mind, I get the thoughts of thoughts that I'm worthless, and my chest and my heart and all of these areas start to constrict. I feel tightness and the tightness in the shoulders, and this is what's my posture is I'm rolling forward. And with that, what I'm trying to say with that is that there is a reason why I have tears on my shoulders is because I was holding it in and my posture was coming in front. So don't be afraid to express your emotions, because that is a honest part of going through this. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is that pause and reflect. Reflect, okay, what's really happening around this? What's going on? How is this impacting what you're going? Oh, Maureen, thanks so much. I appreciate you saying that. You cried yesterday and brought an honor to my consciousness. That's right. With the feelings and with the pausing is that when you're pausing, you're allowing yourself not to rush into the job search piece, because I, as an extrovert, do my thinking outside my head. I am very reactive. No, reactive, yes. But what I'm doing, thank you, Robert, for saying to Maureen that she's strong. Yes, she is. She is marvelous. A shout out to Maureen. She has helped me so much. She is a whiz at numerology. She's a whiz at helping you with your energies and all of those. If you are in job search, find out how she can help you in figuring out your energies so you can soar in your job search. And so please reach out to her. When I'm being reactive, I just jump at it. So when you're doing job search, it is easy to get sucked up in the panic, in the fear, and all of that. And when you're sucked up in the panic and fear, you are not applying for jobs in a proper way. So let me turn this to entrepreneurs. I know there are a few entrepreneurs who are suffering. Businesses are laying off and people are not buying and all of that. So this means that if you are even reactive with this, you're going out and please buy from me, please buy from me, and you're just going all over the page. Instead, pausing, collecting your thoughts, and instead of hitting that press button and posting on your social media, take a moment and say, I'm going to write this out on a Word document. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, and those that are the personality dimensions is another thing that I facilitate. The oranges, who are extroverts, who do their thinking outside, they like to do things boom right away, and they don't think back. So the idea behind this is that when you reflect and the next day you go ahead and post, it is difficult. Do that. Is that way it'll help you to say, am I doing the right thing? So this is my advice around pause and reflect. The next thing I'd like to move to is support. And let me be brutally honest over here. Those people in your close circle may not be supportive at that time. And we so often allow them to rent space up here. And so when I talk about negative scripting, where does that negative scripting come from? Negative scripting comes from our what we've heard. It could be in the childhood, it could be throughout your childhood, up to your adulthood, and even in your adulthood. It comes from people who you trust and respect, family members, parents usually, and then older siblings, and then it moves to teachers and it moves to managers, but it doesn't stop there. It goes into the piece about your friend circle, who you respected, and all of those. And there are times when you need to kick out those toxic tenants who are not paying rent. So kick them to the curb. That's what I'm saying. And when you're doing that, you will feel guilty. You will feel that shaming piece. But that is all the piece around that mental health that we can move forward and move so that we're able to grow. Are you going to fall? Oh, yes, you are. Do you know how many times I've fallen and failed? Hey, excuse me, hands up. I'm failing at many things right now. But the thing is, I'm choosing to look at the things that I'm succeeding in, because it's not only the family and the friends that are saying those things, but it's what's also happening on social media. How many of us are posting coronavirus, here's what's happening, the latest stats, and what does that do? It feeds into the fear, it feeds into the anxiety, it feeds into our helplessness. And when it does that, we are crippled. And so if your friends and family are doing that, or if they've said these things to you and you're putting that in your mind, and it's spinning the negative scripting, there's a thing you can do is stop. Find out one thing you can do great. You know what thing I can do great? I love having chai conversations. I love having chai conversations with people outside. What can I do now? I'm actually having a chai conversation with you, my loves. Yes. And this is giving me a sense of purpose. This is giving me a sense that, yes, I am able to do some things really well. Is that we are keeping physically distant, but humans, we are wired for connection. So when we're wired for connection, and this connection could be the physical thing. And so here, I'm going to share with you one thing. Do you know what I did yesterday? I could not hold it anymore. I went out. I went to find people, and I connected with people. I called my friend's mom who lives in the next neighborhood. I walked there and I said, hey, is the food ready? And she's like, who is this? I said, hey, I'm Alnoor. Everybody should know because I always say I am Alnoor. And so when she right away knew who it was. And I said, come out to the deck. And so that was my way of connecting with people. That was my way of respecting that I need to be physically distanced because I know how I am. I need to see people. And so by doing that, I went out and I was able to feed into what makes me happy, especially during these times. Robert, I thank you for laughing. Can you put the laughing emoji, because that's really important that those things start coming up. Put the love emoji because that's really going to help, and bring in your friends into the conversation because I'm still going to go on. I've just finished a quarter of the 1/3 of this, and I'm going to go down my list. So where I'm going with this is find things that give you inspiration. Social media can be great for inspiration. I know Maureen's posts. They bring me so much joy and happiness and love. Bless your heart. Really, bless your heart. Thank you so much. Laura Steadley, she's another one. And if you go on LinkedIn, there are so many lovely people who are spreading positivity. There is Caroline Cares, there is Joy Abdullah. We're going to be having things called Chai with Pies. Chai is tea. Please don't say chai tea because we laugh at you. It means TT. And don't say naan bread because it means bread. We laugh at you. Bhai means brother. And so we're going to work on this. I am not at the capacity right now. And that's another thing about capacity is that with so much going on and so many people who are sharing all these great things that are going on out there, there is the thing about your capacity. They will ask you to join in. And you have to be strong with the boundaries piece. Where are your boundaries over here? Because if you keep on giving, you are going to be pouring soon from the empty cup of chai, and you won't be able to help yourself with that job search. So limit that space that you're giving to those and find inspirational things and find those that give you something. And yes, be selfish for crying out loud. And those people who are posting, oh, thanks for that, son. I went out for a walk a little earlier on and I put on this music. It had the Arabic and Indian, and I was dancing Bollywood, and my hips were not lying, and there was a cop because the traffic lights were. You must have been looking. You know what? I am doing this for me. I was being selfish. Oh yes. So I don't know if you remember the infomercial. Susan Powers, I think, is who she was, and she would come on and she'd go, "Stop the insanity!" So red is my favorite color. She had red lipstick on. I'm not putting that, but you know what? I've got red over here for my water bottle. I've got red, and I'm wearing a shirt that has red. So find things that are going to help you to feel full and feel like you are and have that structure that's happening. So when I talk about structure is wake up in the morning, do that exercise piece. Because if you're going to be sitting on your computer all day and hit send, 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 apply, 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 this is what I talked about last week, is spraying and praying, pray. And do you know what happens is that recruiters, HR people are inundated with applications. So let's flip here and turn the lens and look at what they are going through, because when you have the compassion, you're able to understand is that what the other people are going through, and that's going to keep you even feeling better. So when you do things for yourself, such as dressing up and keeping a schedule and making sure you don't stay on the computer all day, because that's going to impact, it is going to feed into the anxiety. It's going to get you into depression, especially when you're feeling depressed and anxious and all of those feels. And if you're on the computer at night, what's going to happen is the rays of that is not going to help you sleep. So that will turn into you're not able to sleep, you're not able to wake up in the morning, you're not able to keep to your schedule, and it starts going round. So find things that you can do right. Do you feel like you could go to sleep and turn off your social media? This is not only for job seekers, this is for entrepreneurs out there. Yes, hips don't lie, Maureen. That's right. That's my hashtag. And the thing is, like, I go on Facebook lives of other people, and I go on live to show people that I am also dancing. Now, when I'm following other people doing their live thing and hip hop, Connie Jacobs, she does that on Tuesdays, I believe. Go watch her. And you know what? It's not about being perfect. Embrace the imperfection, but just move. If you're sitting in your chair, just move and put on music that makes you happy. That's where you can find that inspiration piece. In the morning today, I couldn't sleep that much. So what I did was I got up and I listened to a webinar that happened last night. It was a replay. and I listened to a motivational thing on YouTube, and I just did not watch. I kept my headphones on because my kids were sleeping, and I decided to do some deep breathing and meditation, all of those. That's what's going to help you. Now, let me go back to those people who are your support system, for example. Everybody has different ways of looking at things. So what we are, thank you so much, I appreciate that. I just got that message pop up. What I'm going to share over here is that they may be able to bounce back from certain things because that's who they are. Understand that other people are able to bounce back and you are not able to bounce back from certain traumas or certain triggers, but what you're able to bounce back from, they will not be able to. So recognize that is that each of us is different. We carry on and view the world with the lens that has got the layers that we've built up over time. It's with the experiences, with whatever that has happened. So be kind to yourself. And when I talk about being kind, I talk about sleep, I talked about exercise. I'm going to talk about food as well. And when we talk about food, everybody is saying, well, eat right. Well, what is eat right? And when you're going through a crisis of pandemic, some of the things that are going to give you comfort are those comfort foods. So breads, guess what I did yesterday? I baked something I've never ever done that before. And it called for 3 cups of white flour. So I substituted that. And what I did was put 1 cup of the all-purpose flour and 3 cups of whole wheat flour. And it was a no-knead recipe. And I put it on my counter at night, and I popped it in the oven. And my younger son went cray over it. It was hot and everything. And I put butter and it melted and all of those. So, substitute things. I put some sesame seeds that I didn't call. And that's the creativity piece. So when you're feeling anxiety, that's when creativity goes. And you're looking at jobs, you said, well, I can't do this. This is where your transferable skills are coming in. Jobs are disappearing of the jobs you were doing. My heart goes out to WestJet people. My immediate family member decided to go on early retirement. He is younger than me. And the reason being is that, WestJet put this out. And so there's so many people who are hurting right now. And when I'm talking about that, we look at what the good that is happening in the community. It's community that helps us. And what happens when the community helps us? Shar Bruder, she is a rock star, a legend. I met her. I'd met her, but I'd forgotten. We were at Mount Royal College at the same time. And I was the International Students Association vice president. And she remembered me from that time because when I started working for WestJet, she said, Alnoor, I remember you. And my husband was there. He was her boyfriend at that time. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, if you know me, I make friends fast. I have 12,000 followers on LinkedIn. Do I know everybody? No. I was saying this on a live call that I go out for a walk, a hike, and I make fast friends. That's my personality. My kids and my wife, they go, oh my gosh, stop. But for me, it's like breathing. So where I'm going with this is that community is very important. My younger son has come here. I've told him he can't come and say hello in his PJs, but I guess he has. There he is. Last time he crashed the party. And so what I'm going to be saying right now is that with the, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there, is, I'll go back to it, is set time for your career, set time to not go online, set time to look at your resume. Are the keywords on your resume on the jobs that you're applying for? Take that time. This is your time that's been given to you. If you've been laid off, use the resources to get employment insurance. There is no shame in that. Go for it, because you know what? It is there for you. It's going to give you help. Hi, Batman. Yes. And so, yes, he is a hero, as you guys are as well. And so, where I'm going with that is that we feel like, oh my gosh, I've lost my job. I need to go back right away. What you can do is go after you've grounded yourself. I am noticing it's 12:30. I kept it until 12:30. If everybody's okay, I'm going to go maybe 5 minutes over, and I'm going to give 5 minutes for questions. And so when you're taking that time and looking at your resume, and by the way, folks, if you're not on LinkedIn, that's where it's going. So whether you're a job seeker, you are an entrepreneur, please look at your LinkedIn profile. Does it have the keywords that is going to get you employment? And make sure that it is peppered everywhere, because what that does, it helps with the search engine optimization. What does that mean? Is that when recruiters type up, I need somebody with X skill, and then a list of people with all the X skills will come up. And if your profile has got that X skill on your tagline, so tagline is right below your name, and people give it their current job title at the job they are at. No, it's what is you bring. Share a story. How can you help? You are marketing, whether you're a marketer or not, okay? So stop that insanity, Susan Powers. And what you need to do is figure out what is your value proposition and enter those keywords there and add that on your tagline, or you add that. Whoa, Cosmos, free reboot. I love that. She's offering a free package. Please, guys, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to make sure that it goes out to everybody. That's marvelous. You are a gem. Oh, thank you, Maureen. This is the time for you to clean that up, and it's the time for you to even invest in yourself. Get somebody, a person who does look at clearing out the energy that is holding you back, clearing it out, so that you can apply for the jobs and all of that, right? I'm just watching if there are any other comments that are coming up. And Maureen is great for that. Invest in that, get your resume and your LinkedIn looked at, and LinkedIn more so because you can have your endorsements and your recommendations. So if you have your keywords on your tagline, you have that in your summary, or your about section is what it's called right now. And you can also put that on your work experience. So don't just keep your title and the company you work for, but fill that out. Tell people what difference you made, how numbers they work. That is like, playing the latest video game. I'm old school, so I called it Candy Crush, but that's not the game. I don't know what the game is right now. My son kind of got blue, and I was like, what? And he goes, oh, forget it. So if you know any young people, or any of you people who are watching or playing those video games that are really addictive, type those in the comments and I will share. This is what it does to recruiters in HR. And so it brings you higher up into that search piece. So that is the time to set time for a career. And if you are a morning person, my suggestion is to try and shift a little bit earlier in the day, because that is where in your geographical area, recruiters and HR people are working, remote working right now. So embrace that. and try and apply for jobs at that time because you're going to show up a little bit higher up. If you're doing it in the evening, you're going to feed to your sleeplessness. So that is another point that I have. And open up your net connection piece, your networking. We are wired for connection. Even introverts, you need people company. Yes, I know. This is your time. And Lana, she joked around. This is supposed to be my time, but I'm living in an extrovert's world where I have all these messaging platforms that are coming in. I have to respond to them. I have to do my work, and I have to go on these teleconferences at the same time. This is a extrovert's world. The thing is that thank you. I'm energized. I'm speaking with my passion because honestly, doing this is feeding my ikigai, my why. And I love to share knowledge. So thank you so much. Is that if those things, you're introvert, yes, you can take your breaks and you can go and sit down and put on that music. I don't know, is it Yanni or is it some soft piano thing? Thank you for timing and all of that. Yes, oh, good point. And my last point to you over here is that be kind to yourself, folks. This is a tough time. I'm going to be open and honest here. When the pandemic hit, it was like, woe is me. It was very myopic because all of a sudden, instead of the spring break happening a week earlier, my kids were home a week earlier and I had to let go of all my plans. This is talking about how I need to bounce back. And I was not able to bounce back because I had to take care of the kids' needs as well. So, with the kids' needs, where I'm going with that, make sure you have time for you. And what I mean by this is that if you can't do it today, do it tomorrow. Because you know what? Be kind to yourself, start tomorrow. And if you need to eat a candy or a chocolate, go for it. If you can't work out today, do it tomorrow. Guess what? What are you going to be tomorrow? You're going to be here. You're going to be at home. You're going to be, but please make sure you go outside as well. Get those vitamin Ds. And any questions? Thank you so much for hearing me out. Lots of love and really appreciate the conversations that were going on. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts here? I can just hang around. Oh, you want to dance? All right. Let's. I can put on it was Mixcloud. It was, and you know what? I would like you guys to dance where you are. If you are sitting down, you can move around and you can dance. Okay. There's no reason why you can't dance. Let's see here. Can I? Plano, Frisco, Arlington, and I'm sorry. They have lots of. All right. Who's doing it? Who's shaking it? You know. Oh, thank you. Dance it out. I know when I used to do my LinkedIn, the full day sessions in the middle of the day, like I used to bring in these gourmet sandwiches and everything. Hello, ni hao. Xie Laila. It's my friend Yan who has joined. Thank you so much for that. Please do press the love button and let's dance it up while we're ending this show. Because you know what? That's where we need the energy. It's like we need to be moving. And yeah, and I know I missed the Ras and the dancing during our New Year, which was March 21st. But you know what I did was I danced it out, and I was doing the Ras while I was walking on James McKenna in Calgary. So Joanne, I don't know if you were looking outside the window with Brian. I was actually doing the Ras, and I was dancing it up, and I was doing the Bhangra because you know what?